Get to know our top 40 new artists for 2018 with these playlists, available on Spotify and Apple Music. Madison Beer, Floaty R. Photograph Gareth Catamole, MTV Amos 2017. Getty Images for MTV. Madison Beer already massive on Instagram with more than 10 meters followers after being spotted by Justin Bieber. Stardom seems assured for 18-year-old Beer, whose style and blousy, honey-fried voice all hit the zeitgeist square in the bullseye. Musically, too, there's Xanax-friendly Floaty R. Zoe, a sometime singer with pop pioneers the rhythm method. London musician Zoe's solo work sees her pitched-up vocals underlaid with electronics that flit between melancholic minimalism and a riot of retro synths. Littered with references to loneliness and miscommunication, her debut EP Insecure was a blast of saccharine sadness. Julia Michaels, perhaps this year's success story of the year. Julia Michaels' breakthrough solo single Issues has already been nominated for a 2018 Grammy, and that's added to the string of hits she's already co-written, from Justin Bieber's Sorry to Selena Gomez's Bad Liar. Her husky, earnest voice is put to appealingly honest and unguarded tales where lust and strife intertwine. Read a full interview here. Moaning, moody, DIY guitar music. Photograph Michael Schmeling. Moaning, a product of their hometown's DIY scene, this Los Angeles trio have spent the past couple of years creating moody guitar music that draws on shoegaze, slacker rock and post-punk. They've already whetted appetites for their upcoming debut album with a series of driving, dirge-like, deadpan tunes. Sarah Tandy, having turned her back on one bright future as a classical pianist, Sarah Tandy studied jazz at the Royal Academy before leading her own trio as well as playing for numerous other bands. She is now one of the brightest prospects on London's jazz scene, acclaimed for her inventive takes on the classic repertoire of the likes of Thelonious Monk. Baywave's muttered vocals and guitars that drip with delay characterize this Madrid band's gorgeous tunes. Like a sun-drenched swimming pool, Baywaves make music that's warm and shimmering on the surface but coolly controlled at its core. Recent tracks such as Glisten Down For You showcase the nonchalant flair. Laura, swaggering Latin pop. Photograph Sony. Laura, coming in the wake of a 2017 that took Latin pop to a global audience, is Bogota singer Laura, who uses the accordions and reggaeton beat of her country's cheesiest pop, and flips them with admirable swagger, channeling the same pop smarts as Charlie XCX. If she doesn't end up on a major laser chorus before 2018 is out, Diplo's not been doing his homework properly. Ms. Banks, this Camberwell rapper, is already getting transatlantic attention for her magnificently disparaging vocal style. Nicki Minaj has quoted her on Twitter and Cardi B took her on tour. Her technical ability and sheer refusal to be cowed make her a hugely charismatic force for British lyricism. Read a full interview here. Porridge Radio, melodious slacker indie. Photograph record company hand out Porridge Radio. This exceptional bright and slacker indie band are led by the magnetic Dana Margolin, who blends the freewheeling romance of Wolf Alice's Ellie Rosal with ramshackle C86 style production and the darker, drowsier energy of PJ Harvey or Mark Lanigan. Even when they brood under a drizzly cloud, the surefire melodies can't help but jangle. Tom Grennan, after a horrific unprovoked attack by a gang of strangers that left him with metal plates in his jaw, Tom Grennan could have retreated into himself, but instead he's making some of the most boisterous, vital guitar pop around. His soulful holler and endearing laddishness means he could be 2018's answer to Ranbone Man. Read a full interview here. Pigs. Giant cosmic riffs. Photograph PR company hand out Pigs. The Newcastle band with the best name in the UK right now were clasped to the bosom of the psych scene in 2016. Thanks to the giant, Sabbath-level cosmic riffs, and could end up creating the kind of swaggering anthems that sent Queens of the Stone Age and Royal Blood into the big time. They might be 17 minutes long though. Insecure Men, a supergroup of members from Fat White Family, Childhood and more, plus a schoolteacher on Vibes calling himself Steely Dan. Insecure Men play a kind of skronked aerial pink-style exotica, where rudimentary drum machines patter behind psych pop ballads about Cliff Richard, teenage sexuality and penge. Dawn Ray D. While some black metal bands merely faff about with the devil, flesh tunnels and difficult-to-read calligraphy, Dawn Ray D. take aim at capitalism and the rotten people who exploit it, with deafening intensity. But emerging between the patches of scorched earth are beautiful passages of English folk, too. Antifa has a new, extremely loud house band. Sudan Archives. Smooth neo-soul on rickety backdrops. Photograph Rob Klassen. Sudan Archives seamlessly moving between singing and playing guitar and violin. This multi-talented neo-soul singer sets her smooth croon against rickety backdrops that nod to the folk music of Northeast Africa as well as backpacker hip-hop. If Erykah Badu wandered back to her roots with a 4-track, you could imagine something such as this emanating fragrantly from the sessions. Hack Baker delivering freewheeling social realist raps in a broad Cockney accent over hazy acoustic guitars. Hack Baker taps into the same meandering mood as King Cruel, delivering songs like a can kicked distractedly down a wet street. His meter is too slippery to alight on a mainstream pop chorus, and yet there's still something totally universal in his laments. Rich Chigga, nerdy, deadpan Indonesian rap. Photograph Erica Goldring, Getty Images. Rich Chigga's SoundCloud stars such as 669 need tear up the rule book about what a rapper looks like. Indonesia's Rich Chigga, nerdy and deadpan, is moving from ironic punchline to serious MC, self-producing his tracks with a chiming melancholy behind his boasts. Like the best mumble rappers, he can turn a melody out of even the most monotonous, dead-eyed flow. Ezra Collective led by drummer Femi Kolioso, London quintet. The Ezra Collective have marked themselves out from the crowd with their genre-bridging prowess, folding hip-hop, reggae and Afrobeat into jazz tradition. Previous stints as rapper Faraway Monk's backing band prove they can put the talents to more than one use. Smokey Margella, young addition to the ASAP mob. Photograph Grape Records. Smokey Margella, 15 years old and with his voice barely broken, Smokey has been brought into the ASAP mob, thanks to his instinctive yet appealingly unvarnished approach to melody. He's started working with Murder Beats, the in-demand producer behind Drake's Portland, Travis Scott's Butterfly Effect and Migos Motorsport. Orkla, this dairy producer and DJ, has been the secret sauce at dozens of club nights in 2017, with her genre-resistant style that nods to UK garage, deep house and burial-style atmospheres. Her sets meanwhile ping-pong between the decades, with some breakbeat here, a disco workout there, before heeding the irresistible siren's call of techno. Eve Tuma, multi-talented warp signing. Photograph Publicity Image. Eve Tuma, this already iconic Tennessee expat, is capable of everything from blunted neo-soul to nosebleed punk to lo-fi boogie to enveloping noisy ambience, all of it in teetering heels. After 3 underground albums, he's joined the invigorating current roster of Warp alongside excellent fellow New Boys Geiger and Lorenzo Senni. Onyx Collective, an expanding and contracting group of young New York jazz performers. Onyx Collective stretch from scratchy improv to drawling ballads to up-tempo post-bop, always with a raw immediacy. Having just released a 2-part album full of field recordings, unfettered melodies and no-wave energy that reflects on the Lower East Side, they could be the secret weapon of this summer's festival circuit. Chloe x Halle. Beyoncé-endorsed sisters Chloe and Halle Bailey spent their childhoods racking up millions of views on the YouTube videos. They still regularly upload covers. A version of Kendrick Lamar's Humble proved a hit recently, but these days the Atlanta-based teens focus more on finessing their own lustrously layered strain of Donna Missile, atmospheric, soul-indebted pop. Photograph Timothy He at Getty Images. Donna Missile. This New Jersey singer's husky tones have already featured on the Macklemore song Over It, but it's on her own skeletal, soul-indebted pop that she really lets rip, veering from evocative restraint to a huge bluesy wail on strident but subtly atmospheric tracks such as Transformer and Keep Lying. Cautious Clay. There are shades of Drake in the tracks created by this 24-year-old New Yorker, who backs up his auto-tuned croon with a smorgasbord of sonic ticks and screwed-up samples. Cold War, his biggest hit to date, layers irresistibly smooth vocals over wooden percussion and what sounds like a trembling tray of champagne glasses. The Orioles. Mesmerizing indie from Halifax. Photograph record company hand out the Orioles. This Halifax trio have already proven their incredible songwriting chops, crunching jangly indie, trippy psychedelia and dubby post-punk into the mesmerizing single Sugar Tastes Like Salt earlier this year. The result was a tribute to indie history that managed to surpass a fair amount of what had come before. Amelie Lenz, in-demand minimal techno producer. Photograph Eva V. Long. Amelie Lenz. This Belgian producer is racking up the Ryanair miles as her popularity snowballs, thanks to classic minimal techno productions that slowly menace you into rapture, complete with cool, unreadable interjections from Lenz on the mic. She is capable of the kind of all-enveloping big room majesty that could land her near the top end of festival bills this summer. Lanic artifacts teetering lip-smackingly between abstraction and banging dance, and with a palette of sound that spans deep ambient, junglism and techno, this Glaswegian producer is already disturbingly accomplished. There's a touch of Aphex Twin to his splattering, impetuous productions, but rendered in bright, ultra-contemporary synthesis. Malik Berry, Afrobeat meets trap. Photograph Serpil Rand, Rex, Shutterstock. Malik Berry. London-born Berry has already worked with such Afrobeat luminaries as Wizkid, Davido and Fuse ODG during his time as a producer. His fledgling solo career, meanwhile, has seen him gild the Afrobeat sound with harsh trap snares to create tunes that are fresh as well as rich and vibrant. Batu, to the man behind fated underground Bristol techno label Time Dance. Batu's own productions avoid bland four-quarters kick drums and instead embrace off-kilter rhythms and instrumentation, where jazz and dub converge on a strobe-lit Friday night dance floor, a little like Kindred Spirits' Laurel Halo, Minor Science and Cool Super. Venom Prison, hyperkinetic death metalers. Photograph J. Cohen's Venom Prison. These Welsh death metalers have been booked onto a 2018 tour with Scene Legends Trivium, thanks in part to the striking lead singer Larissa Stupa, who roars about feeding rapists their own genitals, amongst other topics. Passages of hyperkinetic melody crash into others of grim-faced catharsis, as the kick drum pedals go into overdrive. Amber Mark. After her mother passed away in 2013, Amber Mark began channeling her sadness into a series of songs. The result was her raw and vivid EP 333 AM, a collection of blistering tracks each of which captured one of the stages of grief, while borrowing from our Dream Wife, angular Icelandic British indie. Photograph Holly Fernando. Dream Wife. Icelandic singer Rakel Mjol fronts this British guitar band, her voice switching between Scandi pop sweetness and a rip-roaring punk yowl. Dream Wife's music simmers with lust and fury. On tracks such as Let's Make Out and Fire, they manage to strip the angular indie sound of its daddish associations in the process. Yeji Kathili, who was born in New York but grew up in South Korea, makes house tunes that feel instantly familiar. Her track Drink I'm Sippin' On became a runaway hit this year, in no small part thanks to Lee's hypnotic lyrics, half-rapped and half-sung in either English or Korean. IMDb, jazz-inflected singer and rapper. Photograph Publicity Image. IMDb. With a voice as drowsy as a September wasp, this Mancunian singer and rapper gives a jazzy bent to anything she takes on, be it downbeat or. Her breakthrough track is the infectious rap cut Shade, which hymns an Uber addiction and a refusal to wear underwear around announcements of her own brilliance. Stella Donnelly. This young Aussie singer-songwriter's slacker image and taste in album titles. Her first EP, which was released earlier this year, is called Thrush Metal, barely her exquisite acoustic fare, with Donnelly's clear, soaring voice and sweetly plucked guitar a foil for lyrics steeped in exasperation and sadness. Fetish Party in a Bubble Wrap Factory. Lone Taxidermist. Photograph Record Company Handout. Lone Taxidermist. Led by the imperious Natalie Sharp, Lone Taxidermist's 2017 album Trifle was a cult hit for its blend of post-punk and Peaches-style electro, along with a complete withholding of any fucks, and 2018 should see them build their reputation as the best live band you have yet to see. Imagine a fetish party in a bubble wrap factory overseen by a pushy lollipop lady and you're kind of getting near. Flohio, best known for lending her vocals to harsh, industrial tracks by Merseyside production duo God Colony, South London MC Flohio's formidable staccato rap style has already earned her support slots for US rapper Princess Nokia and respected producers Muramasa and Clams Casino. Ethereal and unsettling, Carrion. Photograph PR Carrion. This Bjork-endorsed Syrian-American producer weaves fluttering beats and sampled vocals into stark, billowing soundscapes. Having previously worked in opera, she co-created Of Light while a student of Marina Abramovich. Karajan's songs reference choral tradition as well as avant-garde electronica. The result is both ethereal and unsettling. Abracadabra. Abracadabra is the MC most likely to fully break out of the vibrant yet bleak UK drill scene, where harsh American trap collides with the post-colonial melting pot of South London. With a voice so gruff and scarred it makes Skiggs sound like Tweety Bird, he can nevertheless suddenly rise into a melodious chorus. 47 Soul, Shamstep, supergroup. Photograph. Judd Oakes. 47 Soul. The musicians that make up the self-christened Shamstep supergroup 47 Soul hail from all over the world, but are all dedicated to the cause of reworking traditional Middle Eastern music into party-starting electronic smashers. The band's members have previously worked in genres including dub, alt-rock, folk and rap. The ensuing fusion is fascinating.